Tuesday, November 12, 2013. This is Mercedes Diesel Guy, and this is my 1998 Volvo V70. As you can see here, this is one of the rear shock absorbers. And as such, you can see that I'm finishing up the suspension work on this car today. In the rear, all I'm doing really is changing out the shock absorbers. When I was working on the driver's side here, not one, but both bolts actually caught and then snapped off on me, no matter how careful I was being. I mean, it was so... Basically, what I ended up doing was very, very carefully, when I'd exhausted all my other options, I got my torch in here, and I heated the underside of both bolts, being very, very, very careful with the flame, because you're pretty close to the gas tank, which is right here, and you're close to this bunch of wires right here, and you're close to the upholstery. Basically, proceed at your own risk and be extremely careful whenever working with a torch. I've done this a bunch of times before, so I knew to be careful, but if you have any doubt in your mind at all, do not bring a torch inside a car or anywhere near a car. I can't stress that enough. If this, proceed at your own risk, I'm not responsible for anything you do to harm yourself or your car. But anyhow, I worked with a small flame, and, like I said, held the flame underneath the bolts to minimize any chance of flame getting inside the car here. And then I used two different products on the shanks of the bolts. First was PB Blaster, which is not my usual penetrating oil. I usually use Seafoam's Deep Creep, but basically I'm out of it, and I had the PB Blaster handy. The other thing I used in combination with the heat was automatic transmission fluid, and believe it or not, the combination of the heat and the transmission fluid really did just kind of power through it, especially on the this one right here. Once I had the shank of the bolt heated up, I put just a few drops of transmission fluid on there. It really didn't take much to soak in, and I could see the rust bubbling up, so I knew it was working. At that point, I had a little bit of bolt sticking out on either side here, and I was able to grip that with vice grips, as you see here, and very, very carefully twist it out. And a lot of times, if it started to snag again, I would go back in the other direction, clockwise, tighten it back down, put a little more penetrating oil or transmission fluid on it, and then go back in the other direction. And every time it snagged, I was just very patient, did that, and eventually I did get the bolt out. So, thankfully I was able to get the bolts out without damaging the threads here, so I will be able to install the new shock absorber without any problem. So, that is my tip on that. And of course, I had to go to the store and buy new bolts. And my only other tip on the job is when you're reinstalling components, use anti-seize. This is the stuff I use. I use it on basically everything, basically every bolt connection. And this goes back to when I was working solely on Subarus. And like I said, if you have to resort to working with flame, be extremely careful. I'm not responsible for any injuries or fires you might cause. This is just what I did, and it worked. But if you have any doubt about your ability, any fear of working with a flame, don't do it. Just spend more time, maybe work with a better penetrating oil. I really don't know what else to recommend. And just work slowly and methodically, and good luck. So this is Mercedes Diesel Guy. Thanks for watching.